Good evening and welcome to the Serrano Show and the New Jersey Post newspaper. We're here with Mayor Jeffery Jones shortly after his State of the City address. Mayor, I'd like you to go over some of the highlights that you addressed in a little more details.
Well, the purpose of the State of the City address, outside of being a legislative requirement, that the administrator, that being me, the mayor, has to inform the public of the progress and the actions. What we wanted to do is let the public know this is our second year. We just concluded our second year on June 30th. We have 2 more years left in the administration. And with that, we have been focused on bringing about people-based kinds of issues that I think have been so easily neglected and forgotten. In order to do that, we have to show that amidst all these other challenges, a $77 million budget deficit, an MOU with the state of New Jersey, an MOU that was very restricted, the fact that the county of Passaic had not really fully engaged us as a center of their existence, because we are the county seat, the fact that we have 52 different nationalities and ethnic groups, and we're spread apart, and we're so spread apart that we can't see, in my opinion, our opportunity collectively. So I needed to separate those conversations out and have the individuals, based on some community conversations we had, respond to what we've done. We heard you. We're hearing you. We're getting it done with what we have. We're not making excuses, but we've had to do what we've been doing with 474 people less than the previous administration 2 years ago. And as a result of us doing what we had to do, and doing it well, I would might add, the state of New Jersey has said, you can now bring back these people because your financials are in better shape.
How did that happen?
Well, they've been watching us and monitoring us. You don't get that back unless you demonstrate that you're on 10.
There's 37 police officers.
37 police officers, and that came about because of the help with our state delegates and our congressional delegates calling the state and saying, listen, we can't keep doing this. But we have to really go through the assessment. We have to reduce a lot of waste. We have to put people in places they need to be, like take out officers who were in the communications room and put them on the street where they need to be. Fire chiefs and fire members whose experience warranted to have them on the streets doing the fire stuff than others. So you had to do that, and the state was watching, and when we submit our budgets monthly, quarterly, whatever they were doing, weekly, they would see if in fact our progress was there. You don't get this unless you did.
So they didn't just say, take...
Oh, no. No.
It was a lot of work.
No, it was a lot of work. Not to mention that the state also admonished the council because of the fact that the budget they submitted was a budget that was submitted without $8 million. You can't submit a budget that's not balanced. And it was an attempt, and I understand that, I respect them for that, to say, well, you can't hold us to the standard because our public is going to receive another tax burden. To that, I applaud that. But the responsibility was still to submit a balanced budget.
And that is the law.
That's the law. So, president, governor, mayors, we have that same responsibility. So, be it political, gamesmanship, whatever it is, it could have caused and will cause some problems. But this administration did its job. I am so proud of Chris Koch, Lanisha Maples, Director Brown, all the department heads, because they were given an empty cup and told to make it count. And yeah, could we do better? Always. We have not, and this is not my belief or my mandate, that we're going to sit back and say, oh, we've crossed the line. We're not there yet.
Tell me some of your accomplishments.
Actually, there are too many. Let's start with the national park. Let's talk with the national park was signed. Let's talk about the sister city relationship and agreement with China to bring about tourism. Let's talk about the new tourism that's going to be starting in Paterson, by which I forecasted 400 to 1,800 jobs. Regular tours of people from other places coming to Paterson, walking around. The things we do normally, they're going to be doing it, but they're going to have paid to do it. Let's talk about new restaurants that's going to happen because of that. Let's talk about the fact that the streets and the roads are being cleaned and repaired quickly. We've learned that we can't do it all. So we're contracting with people, but we're also holding them accountable. You're not getting these sweetheart contracts where you just put this much gravel down on a new repaved road, and then within 6 months, 6 weeks, it's all tore up, but we're out $8 million. We're not doing that anymore. We do core drillings where we pull out plugs of that road to make sure you put the asphalt in at the right thickness, at the right temperature, and all of that. We're doing signage. We're changing our roads the way that our signage is and the way that our north and south axes are.
This is community development. This is improvement in Paterson.
Well, this is all public works and this is all infrastructure. The community development side, we had gotten our heads handed to us time and time again because of poor, what I understand to be poor management in the past. The fact that CD was,
under the past administration.
yes, sir. The CD department was one of the worst run departments according to the Fed and the state. There were so many glaring problems. Councils acknowledged that. But they also wanted to hold us to an unreasonable standard. And that's been part of what the policy.
The new administration
want to hold us to all these things, even though the data shows it wasn't us. Even our relationship with the county wants to hold us to a standard because the city of Paterson had entered into agreements and didn't fulfill them, but they want to hold this administration to it. I understand that, but you need to work with us. So
you're going to reevaluate your relationship with them?
We're working on having a relationship based on performance. Yes, we understand that there are outstanding projects. We've already taken a look at them, assessed them. We've applied new strategies to them. But now we have to get them. You got to let me get them done.
Now these are the freeholders.
These are the freeholders. Oh, sure. Listen, one of the biggest challenges that this administration faces, and probably every administration, even the county, state, and federal, is people's expectation that I want it now, and that's unreasonable. The freeholders have public, and it's the whole county, 480,000 people. They don't want to think or know or believe that there's been waste. They don't want to know that. And waste, first thing you do is, well, who wasted it? And just like the council's approach to this OT thing that they've blown out of proportion, unnecessarily in my opinion, people want to know that somebody's got to be guilty. In this case, there's no such thing. In this case, you can't get blood from a stone. In that case with the county,
are you appealing that decision?
I'm actually taking that to the mountaintop. There's no way that
have you filed the documents yet?
We're working on it. I won't say anything else. They exercised what they believe to be their rights, and I hope they did it right.
Now, I'm just going to shoot into this a little. I was in the courtroom, Judge Brogan.
Okay.
And I believe, in my opinion, that they gave him the impression that it was just suggestive what they were going to do.
Yeah, we believe that.
When in fact they had already made the decision exactly what they were going to do. So in my reporting, which will come out soon, it's almost like they misled the judge.
Well, there's a whole lot of that going on. If that's the case, I wasn't there. But here's what I...
Well, there's a video. We're going to post it on NJ Post.
Here's what I believe. I believe as a council, having served in that you have the right to believe what you believe. But in the case of legislation, it's not what you believe that matters. The Constitution, Faulkner are very clear. Once you cross that line, you are now subject to all of the issues that go along with either a bad decision, intentional misconduct, ill will. You're subject to it. Just like you try to hold us to it, you're going to be held to that standard. I'm also keenly aware that as long as the conversation within the council chambers occurs amongst the body within that, it's their chamber. I have no authority there. I know that. So I cannot have a good battle with you in your chamber on your terms, which is why we're now out of your chamber. We will have this battle. The public needs to know the truth, not because it is what you say, because you're there in their faces every day, aired on television. We're not going to do that. We're going to do it where the public gets the facts of the matter and can make an intelligent decision. And I'm confident the public's going to say, we didn't know that.
So you and I both know, and I've reported this in the New Jersey Post constantly, at least 5 of the members had a conflict with you.
Yes.
Now I know that if you're in front of a judge and there's a conflict, just the indication of it, you have to send the case out. Seeing that one wanted 1.5 million settled, one wanted to be mayor, one wanted his own project, one wanted another project for himself, and they all despised you ahead of all of this. Excuse me. Shouldn't they have been recused from all of this?
No. I'm a believer in the Constitution and the system, judicial system. You have a right. You can manufacture your version of whatever you want. That's why justice is blind. Mm-hmm. She's supposed to be blind to biases and things like that. And you have the right to be represented in the court of law and present your facts. In this particular scenario, whatever your personal issues are, you get the right to insert it in there. Mm-hmm. And if I let you just have your moment in the chamber, your version is the one that everybody's going to understand.
But if I want to be mayor and I had a conflict with you, and all of a sudden I'm ruling over you now,
you can do that. You can do that. Yeah, it's called.
Well, you're giving them that option.
No, I'm not. It's called gamesmanship. It is called lying. It is called deceiving the public and presenting a persona of being true and fair, when in fact you're trying to get votes on the back door, which is fine. It's part of the process. The public is not stupid. I have every confidence the public, when given the right information and the information, they will say, I didn't know that. Now, what's right information? Well, the OT issue, since that's the big conversation, suggests that the department heads did X, Y, and Z. What I'm saying is that, well, if that's the case, then where is the action to all the people who are involved? Because there are a whole lot of folks. You can't pick which one. Why were sentences issued for some more stark and sinister than others? You've picked and cultivated how you're going to exact your revenge. That in itself is what's going to be your demise.
No, you just used the word revenge.
I believe it is.
Okay.
And I think that future days are going to bear out that this was a vengeful, political, and personal attack on some folks, both the administration and individuals. I am so confident. I'm confident. And I'm not going to say anything more, but I'll tell you, this is the process. Members of the staff will tell you, if you ask them, they didn't think we have to spend as much time doing this when we want to do the people's work. But it's what it is.
Mean jobs and economic development.
Right. So it is okay, because this is, I think, necessary for Paterson to grow from the dark ages to our new posture. At some point you have to do it. At some point in time we have to throw away all the garbage and say we've reached a promised land. It's going to happen. I'm thankful it's happening now. I don't know if I'll be there, as Dr. King says, when you get there. I don't know if I'll be there when you get to the mountaintop. But I know what my journey requires. I think the public is now going to be faced with saying, we no longer want to be ridiculed, lied to, and deceived. And we're not just going to take the voices of anybody. I then have to figure out how regular am I going to be able to have these conversations, because I got to run a city. So I can't have regular daily conversations on all of these issues. I'm not going to go to the council chamber because it's going to be combative. We've got 9 people. Not this case, we won't under the new council. But it could always happen.
What do you mean you're not going to have 9?
Well, the 9 block that's there now won't be the same.
Right.
It's going to change. So these are all the things that go with the process, and I look forward to it. This is what my background's in, so I'm okay.
So you are going to pursue this laying
the process
in court further.
The process is not over.
It's not over.
That's all I'm going to say. Fair enough.
Thank you, man.